Welcome back, everybody. My name is Randy. Of course, you're watching the 5-5 Garage, and today I have a lot of projects that I need to do, so we're just going to jump into it. But first, before I get started, if this is the first time you are watching this channel, I'd like to say welcome, and somewhere around in here will be a link to a playlist of all of the previous mods that I have done to this car. Now, if you have been following the channel, and you should be following the channel, you will know in a previous video I added a larger rear sway bar from Jamesboro Racing and a set of Moog heavy duty end links. Fast forward to yesterday, and as I was driving the car home, when I pulled into the driveway, I noticed that there was a light kind of knocking sound in the rear of the car. I really didn't pay too much attention to it until later on. I went out and ran errands in the car, and as soon as I pulled out of the driveway, I heard it again. I heard it while I was driving. It was very annoying. When I got home last night, I jacked the car up, I grabbed the wheel, everything was tight there. I grabbed the suspension, everything was tight there. I double checked and retorqued all of the bolts. Everything was torqued tight into spec, so nothing was loose there. So I've decided that one of my end links has probably gone bad. So today I'm going to replace the end link, and I'm just ordered another Moog End Link. The part number is a K750069, and it looks like this. For those of you who are not familiar with the Moog End Links, they do have Zerk fittings on them. There's one here, and there's a plug that's here, and I'm going to add a fitting here so I can put some grease on this before I put it on the car. They do not ship greased, so that's one thing that you need to keep in mind if you're going to use a set of these, is to make sure to grease them. Which is ironic because the last time I had the car in the air, I double checked and re-greased all of my end links, so I thought I was going to keep ahead of this problem, but the one on the passenger rear just decided to, go bad, so I'm going to replace it. But while I got the car up, I'm going to replace some other things as well. One of the other problems that I wanted to address today is replacing my front end links. Now, originally I was going to replace the front end links with a set of the Moog end links, but I noticed that they're not adjustable, and that could be a problem on the front of these Mazdaspeeds when you do add a coilover setup. Some coilover setups keep the end link position in the stock location on the coilover, so you can reuse your stock or stock style end link without having too much issue. Some other coilover setups do not, and so you need to get a set of adjustable end links. Now, a lot of people use the white lines. There's various end links out there. The ones that I decided to go with are made by Mazdaspeed system, and they are these. One of the reasons why I decided to go with these is, number one, they have a cover over the end link to kind of keep dirt out and everything, so that should help with longevity. They are adjustable, as you can see. You can turn the end links. Once you install them, you get them and then turn this bar out on the inside, and that helps you adjust the end link. Now, one of the reasons why I need to put adjustable end links on the front of this car is I've noticed ever since I put the coilovers on and I've lowered the car that my steering feels a little weird in spots. And I know weird is not a very good descriptor. Sometimes it's vague as you go through the turning radius, and in the center it kind of feels like I have no sensation. It feels there's no feedback. And one of the reasons why is because the way that the end link is connected to the coilover in the front, it's preloading the bar. And what you want to have in situations is where when the car is sitting and it's not rolling to either side, there should be zero preload on that bar. But mine is preloaded, and you can feel it as you start to turn. The steering feels very vague, and then once you start getting further along the turn radius, then you start getting some steering feedback. But it causes a problem because when I get on the boost in this car, and as the wheel is centered, there is no sensation, and I'm getting some torque steer issues. So that's one of the things I wanted to address today, but that's not the only one. And the final thing I'll be working on today is working on the front end of the car around the strut tower area on the Mazda 3 and the Mazdaspeed 3 that area is only large enough for the stock strut nut to fit through. But when you're like me, you add a set of coilovers, especially adjustable coilovers, that area needs to be opened up because you cannot adjust your camber properly. So I bought one of these. This is a 3 1/8 inch hole saw from Milwaukee, and I am going to use this hole saw, open up that area so I can finally adjust my coilovers properly. This is a long time coming. I should have did this when I originally did the suspension video, but I finally got the time. I finally got all the stuff necessary for me to do this at once, and now I'm going to get started on that. So the first thing I'm going to work on is doing the rear end link, since I will only have to be under the car to do that part at the back. I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way, and then we'll move forward and start working on there. So I'm gonna get started. All right, so the first thing we get started with is working on that rear end link. Now I have the car already jacked up. It is sitting on a set of ramps, and remember, anytime you do anything suspension wise, you have to torque it down loaded. So having the car on the ramps, put some load on the suspension to make sure when I torque all of this down that everything will be proper. And talking about the end link, as I described earlier, it's got a Zerk fitting on the back, but it does not have a Zerk fitting here. You need to grease both of these. And what I did was, previously I went and got a set of grease fittings, and I'm just going to take this one out, replace it with one of these Zerk fittings, and then get everything ready so when I put it in the car, I can grease it up and then install it. And this is really simple. You just need to take a ratchet and get that out, and this is what you're left with. And the last time I did this, these were SAE threads, so that's why I got SAE fittings to screw in here. And I'm going to use a 45-degree fitting, as you can see. Screws in here, and I found with the 45 degrees, it just makes it much easier when you have it on the car. You can jack it up, get your grease gun in there, fill it with grease, and it's a fairly simple process. And here is the fitting installed. As you can see, it's on a 45-degree angle, and when it is positioned in the car, it will be to where I can easily get a fitting on while I have the car jacked up, and I won't have to do a lot of manipulating to get everything to work. So now that this is done, the next step is to get underneath the car, remove the old one, grease this one up, install it, and then check everything. Okay, so this is the old one, this is the new one, and to give you guys an idea why the old one had to come out. So this is the one that goes to the sway bar, and it is still pretty stiff, pretty good. This one is the one that gets connected to the control arm, and this thing shot. So I'm going to grease up the new one and then see about getting that installed. But if you are experiencing a clunking noise, and like I said, you jack it up and you pull on everything and nothing's making that noise, chances are, especially on the Speed 3, chances are your end links need to be replaced. All right, now I got my fully greased end link. It's ready to install. And wipe some of this excess grease off. Make sure that you, when you go to grease these, that you watch this little black boot, and as you pull the grease, as you force the grease in, you will see this start to rise up a little bit, and once it rises up a little bit, go ahead and stop greasing it, and you should be good to go. I am also going to grease my threads to make sure that it's not such a pain the next time I gotta take these out. Okay, back underneath the car with our fully greased end link. and the installation is just the reverse of normal. You know, no new tricks here. So I'm going to start working on that and see how easy I can get this back in here. And I think while I'm underneath here, I am going to recheck all of my suspension bolts on this side one more time, just to make sure that everything is torqued to spec while I got the suspension loaded. Now I have that new end link installed. While I still have the car up, I'm going to go ahead and recheck and retorque everything on that side and make sure that everything is torqued down. But I think I caught the culprit because that end link, the end link connection that goes to the sway bar was fine, but the end link connection that goes to the control arm was very loose. It had some play in it, and I compared it to the brand new one. The brand new one did not have play in it, so I hope that I fixed it, but I won't know for sure until I'm able to get the car down and take it for a drive.